All right, you're listening to Geek Vice once again, the podcast that one day will have a quote that everybody will be talking about. But today is not that day.
Welcome, everybody, to Geek Vice, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name is Morph, and that man over there is Kip, and we have a special guest with us tonight. We have Ed Schmalz from Pawns and Pints. He is on location at the future of the first Kansas City board game cafe. Ed is a former teacher with a master's in education. He is a marketing and sales head for their group, and you can expect to see him eagerly teaching games and pouring drinks when they open. And currently his favorite game is Carcassonne, which I am sure will be a top pick at the new cafe. Good evening, Ed.
How's it going?
Good, man. It's glad to have you on. This is kind of a big deal for the two of us. Kip and I are big board gamers. We enjoy playing board games a lot, but we've never really had a place to go play board games that serve drinks. That's usually the important part when we play, is having drinks and having good people around. So before we get into the Pawns and Pints thing as a whole, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, as you mentioned before, I was a middle school teacher. I've been a board gamer for most of my life. I started with, the little kid's chess when I was like 6, and then, bounced between games and moved about. I am 24 years old. I live in Kansas City. Yeah, I've been a huge gamer, and part of my vision for all this is that I really wanted to kind of create a place that, for example, I would really enjoy being, just a calm kind of place where people can sit down and play board games. I'll play video games. I like video games too, but really just that opportunity for people to kind of sit down, turn off their cell phones, and play games is really what I'm excited about. And yeah, I ride the unicycle. I have a unicycle over there, so if you want, I'm more than willing to grab that and on camera either fall to my death or do that. I also fire breathe. I don't know if that, I don't have that stuff with me, and we're going to have to pass the fire inspection,
Wow.
so I'm not going to do that, but that's another thing I can do.
Well, if you could do the tour of the shop while riding a unicycle and fire breathing, my life would be just, I could die today, really.
I'm totally willing to attempt 2 of those things right now. Like, I will grab that unicycle, turn this camera around, and walk around and show you if you
That's
guys want me to.
That is great. I have never met somebody who had so many talents. I do not have any talents, which is why I host a podcast. So,
Hey, what does that mean?
well, so how did you get involved with Pawns and Pints? Is this kind of there's a group of 4 or 5 of you that have come together to do this. How did you guys all come together to put this on?
Awesome. Well, I hesitate to say that it was my idea because it's been done awesomely by other people in Canada, for example, at Snakes and Lattes. But basically, me and one of my best friends, Martha Bartel, we were sitting around. I was finishing up my master's degree, and I love kids, but I figured I wasn't going to go back in education. She was finishing up a long-term job that she'd had out in Arkansas in management, and we were just sitting there playing board games, drinking beer, hanging out, and just kind of chatting, and like, hey, you know what? We could totally do this. We should make a board game bar and cafe. This is a thing. And then we just, bounced it off some more people, got the ball rolling, did a lot of research. I have a little bit of a background in some entrepreneurial ventures. I was part of something called Rallybox, which was an e-commerce startup, and I did the marketing for that. So we thought about the whole idea of a board game cafe, started looking it up, found out that a bunch of people had done really cool ones. There's one up in Omaha called Spielbound. I went there, really enjoyed it, did some research, talked to people at Victory Point Cafe out in California, also really enjoyed what they had going on, and we kind of just got that ball rolling. Mark joined our team a little bit like a week later. He's also a good friend of mine. He came in. He always beats me at board games. He's in the Army, and he's very good at military strategy. And then a little more recently, John Steele, he also he joined our team. He connected with us. He's a big gamer. He plays RPGs a lot. And he found out about our project through our blogs, and he reached out to us. And he's been running a couple successful businesses, and he got involved. So we've got a pretty competent team. I'm very confident about what we can do.
Well, it's pretty impressive just from the idea. I mean, one, I think it's really cool. I think it's a great idea, and I've seen a lot of these. I've never actually been to any of them, but I see a lot of them. When you follow a company or a group like Tabletop Day and Geek and Sundry, they have these things popping up all over the place, and I thought it was great, and I wondered why there wasn't anything like that here in the first place. But as quickly as you guys reached your goal on Kickstarter, that means there's a lot of people that really want this to happen here too, and if nothing else, you have a lot of followers that want you to succeed, so that's a good sign too.
Yeah, absolutely. I have just been overwhelmed, and so has Martha and John. We've always been overwhelmed by the support on Kickstarter. Just seeing this, the reality. We've been excited about this project for quite a long time. Really excited about it, but seeing other people get excited, I tell you, I'm going to flip over so you can see our door, because right over there where the door is, people walk by, there's a little sign there, and when I see people stop, look at the sign, read it, and get just excited, I'm like, yes, they want to come here, and we want to do this thing that's really cool that they're going to enjoy. We've got, I've worked in coffee houses before, and I've got some connections with some of my cousins up in St. Louis own a bar, and I've seen that, and yes, people are always excited, but just seeing people get so excited about what we're doing has just been incredible, and I cannot thank all our backers enough, and hopefully we're going to meet some of our stretch goals and get that rolling. So, but yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. It's all coming together. I love it when it comes together. Sorry, stupid 18 reference.
Well, can we talk a little bit about the stretch goals? Since you are fully funded, people want to know what else there is out there so we can keep the money rolling in.
Absolutely. So the first one is $15,000. What we've got written down is custom glassware, and that the glassware, there'll be those awesome mugs and stuff with Pawns and Pints written on them. But what that's also going to do is that's going to fill a variety of other expenses to help us make sure we got things for that specific goal. It will allow us to just improve our game collection, additionally improve the quality of the game collection, making sure we've already connected. I don't want to officially say anything, but we've connected with some people, and I'm very confident about the size and the awesomeness of our game collection. Plus, we have people donating games. We've been working on strategies to prevent those games from being damaged. But that's the $15,000 Kickstarter stretch goal that we're almost to, and that. In addition to just having those cool cups and those cool glasses and stuff, what we'll also have with that is we will send those out to everyone who's backed us for more than $50. But the first goal after that, the $20,000, is the one I'm the most excited about, and that's getting us getting an espresso machine in here. Right now, we're funded to have some half-drip coffee, and we're talking with a variety of awesome Kansas City distributors to make some really cool, really high-quality coffee. But we do want to have those espresso machines if we can get there. We want to make latte art, and one way or the other, we want to try and do that. We're going to do everything we can to do that. But if we can reach that goal, it would really make it a lot more attainable there. And then what we'll also do is, if we get to that $20,000, we'll throw a party, essentially at Pawns and Pints, for everyone to come down, see it, no cover charges. Just come, all the backers come and hang out and get a chance to play our collection, experience our service, and etc. And $25,000, we're shooting to get you to craft some pretty cool custom game tables. We've been bouncing schematics around about that. We're looking at some of the really cool ones that people have done. We're kind of talking to a lot of our other board gaming friends and seeing what sort of tables they would really want to play on. I mean, we're going to have some cool wooden flat tables to start, but we've got some ideas, just looking at some things. We'd really like to get to that level. And then, of course, they all sort of build up to $30,000, which would be the ability to put in beer drafts that we put in. So if we put in the beer drafts, I mean, we're going to have bottled beer, and we're going to have a lot of bottled beer. We're going to have a very diverse selection, lots of craft beers. I want to make sure we have things like Delirium Tremens, and we'll have Boulevard, hopefully all those things. But what we'd like to do is have a tap system that we put in ourselves, because that will give us the ability to put the beers that we know that you guys want into those taps. So that's a thing. And then also just knowing for sure that we can put those taps in will be awesome, because I want draft beer, you want draft beer, we all want draft beer, I think.
I just like beer.
Yes, good. Beer's good. Don't get me wrong. Beer bottles, everything.
Yeah. As I drink my beer that I'm enjoying right now. So
absolutely.
So you've talked about the drinks and everything like that, and so my question for you: what about on the food side of things? Are you guys looking to have food at the cafe?
Absolutely. You might see that one of our Kickstarter awards is naming a sandwich. Essentially, what we're doing is we've connected with a couple chefs and people, and we're taking the snack foods that we've board gamed to for the last 20 years of our lives, and gone, okay, how do we make these snack foods gourmet? How do we make these something that is really going to be an attraction? So, we're talking about how we're going to do different gourmet grilled cheese, how we're going to, make paninis and, a lot of foods, cheese plates, etc. But we're talking about some wacky stuff too. I don't want to give too much away about what we're planning, but there's some cool stuff. Nobody is going to go hungry at Pawns and Pints. Let's just say that.
That's good. That's good. So you got that's kind of the important thing here, to make this stand out from anything else, because people can go to game shops and go sit down at a table and play with a bunch of people, but those places don't have, they don't have a full service, bar with drinks. They don't have espresso machines. They don't have, they don't have food other than, the bag of Cheetos that they might let you walk in the door with. It's
those are all gross. I mean, even you get some places sometimes that are great places, but it's like they know, because you have to go through quite a bit of permitting and setting things up, and there's a great amount of effort required to make sure you have a kitchen that can really prepare food. But we totally think it's worth it. We're Martha, my business partner. She's a great cook herself, and we've been talking to people and just getting those really good foods and providing that experience. It's going to be totally different than just hanging out in your basement. This is right in the Crossroads. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Crossroads. We're in the Arts District. This is going to be we've got a nice, really nice layout planned out, and I can show you guys a little more if we do a little walkthrough tour. But we really think this is going to be a place that will be enjoyable to come to, and plus, unless you have an incredibly impressive games collection, I think we're going to have more games than you've got in your basement, and you can play them all, and we can teach you how to play them too.
And that's the other thing that I thought was really cool, and I really like this idea. It's mentioned on your website. It's mentioned on the Kickstarter that that you're not just going to throw people out there and say, yeah, here's all these board games, you can play them, but then nobody there knows how to play them, which is always makes it makes that trying to get new people into board games makes it really hard. And so then people just fall back onto the same board game over and over again. Then they get burnt out. So I really like this idea that you're going to be teaching everybody, or that you can teach people how to play these board games. How are you going to go about? I guess it's going to take some extensive memory on all your guys' part to know your catalog of. I think you said 500 games is what you're hoping to have by opening day. That's a pretty impressive list. Kip can't even remember the rules to one board game. He keeps screwing up those all the time. So.
Yeah, but this isn't about me. This is about Edward. Or Ed, sorry.
All good. Either one's fine. Well, I'll tell you, there's kind of algorithms, actually, to how you teach a game effectively. I've been doing a lot of research about that, and does a really good job with a lot of their game teaching. Is Geek and Sundry, for example, on tabletop, is they do have that they teach you. And the trick is, more or less, our game gurus are going to be prepared, we have a crib sheet on basically how to play every one of our games that someone no names mentioned, stays up very late at night to make on a lot of espresso. I love it though. I'm sitting there reading rules to board games and geeking out. But we're working on that. Essentially having a system, having our simplified versions of, not simplified, but like you look at the rules, for example. So let's just take something really basic like Risk, and you can look at the rules and you can read even those rules, which you and I know how to play Risk. We can just tell you how to play Risk. And the way that most rules are written are kind of flavorful. They're interesting. There's go through it, but really. To teach you how to play Risk, all I have to do, lay out Risk, show you how a battle works, tell you the objective, walk you through one turn, and be there to answer any questions. And that's the basic thing, because if you look at Risk, for example, we set up Risk, we put the table out there, we just say, okay, you start with these cards, we're just going to set up a basic thing. When you invade, you get this much. The point is to conquer the world. You can make deals. And you don't go into any extraneous details. You don't talk about strategies. You don't do that. You just explain the basics of the game, how the rules work. You get them all set up, and then you walk them through 1 or 2 turns. You sit with them, and then let them appreciate and enjoy the game. You can't talk at them the whole time. You can't just be like, yes, oh, it's interesting you did that, but that's not the right move. There's no condescending. There's nothing like that. That's what we don't want to do. That's the opposite of our experience. I'm pretty passionate about education, pretty passionate about games, so it's a kind of awesome combination for me. It's really really fun for me to be writing and analyzing and getting that all set. And I've got a lot of great friends who've been helping me with some of my game guru ideas and how to teach them and how to roll them. So you can bet that I'll be teaching games for sure too.
Yeah, there you go.
And game gurus.
That's kind of cool. That's a good point. You're a former teacher, and now you're going to be teaching, except you're going to be teaching the probably your biggest passion, or what seems to be your biggest passion, which is board games. That's awesome. That's
absolutely.
Talk about getting to do what you love right there.
Oh, heck yes. I'm really excited. I got to tell you, it's been kind of a blast when I realized I was out at our flyers about what we're doing, and I'm out there on the plaza at 1 a.m. handing them out to people playing Pokemon Go while I'm, playing Pokemon Go. I'm sitting there like, somewhere my middle school teacher is really kicking herself, like what is everything that I was told, I don't know, the things like, don't waste your time on, Pokemon or board games. And now that's literally what I was doing.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Time.
So let's touch on the fact that you're handing out flyers at 1 o'clock in the morning, which can be a little scary in and of itself. But what is your marketing strategy to try to get to get your name out there and to get your brand out there for everyone to know where you're going to be at?
Well, it helps that I can't shut up. I just will literally tell everyone and their mother about Pawns and Pints, and sometimes my friends have to look at me like, okay, we understand you're making a board game cafe. We're going to talk about something else. I'm like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but I go out there. We've had a lot of people helping out with our content strategy of producing blogs, and I've been writing blogs. My friend Donald, he's been amazing. He's our Donald the DM. If you look at our Twitter or Facebook, he's written what's almost like a little book at this point of cool things about RPGs that he's published, and I put him onto different blogs. And that way, what we do is we go on social media and we give someone something that they're actually going to enjoy, something to read that we've branded. It's like at the bottom it says, hey, by the way, we're making a board game cafe. And then I do things like we went to CantCon and we're a sponsor at CantCon, and we went to Comic-Con. We had a table at Comic-Con. We had our Jenga set up there, which was a really good time. We did a First Fridays event. You know how busy it gets down here.
Oh,
we
yeah.
opened it up. We had an awesome guy, Ed Sandoval, did some awesome promotional photography for us there. He's a pretty awesome dude. We had stuff like that, and a lot of it, it's been really word-of-mouth marketing, more or less. We think this is something people want. We've connected with people who've told us this is what they want. We've posted on Reddit, and we've been producing content alongside this, and we're just really excited to be part of this community and doing everything we can to get our word out there. And we're not quiet. We've been loud since day one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I stumbled across you. I don't even know if I found it. I think I found the blog first, because I think I knew about it before the Kickstarter had gone live, and then when the Kickstarter went live, my Facebook feed just was flooded with that, and so it's definitely getting out there. So I think that's awesome. I think it's great. On the Kickstarter, you talk about memberships and the benefits of memberships, and can you tell us a little bit about what your idea is behind the membership for the Board Game Cafe for Pawns and Pints?
Absolutely. So what you're paying for every time you come in is essentially it's a $5 rental cover charge, because we do have limited space compared to other places, and we're in the middle of a very dense area. We're gonna have about 95 a capacity of about 95 people. We've got a wall of board games that we're maintaining. We've got people who are teaching you that. Essentially, people come in and that $5, that initial $5, pays for them to get access to those games, to the game gurus, to hang out in this space, to enjoy the ambiance, to enjoy being here. What the membership lets you do essentially is, if you're like, what, I'm gonna be there quite a bit. That's just, I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna be playing RPGs. I'm gonna be playing Carcassonne. I'm gonna be playing, everything all the time. Or if you're not even, if you're even gonna be showing up more than 4 or 5 times a month, it's just in your best interest to do a membership. And we're getting a lot of different aspects that we want to incorporate with the membership of added bonuses. We don't want to overpromise, but we've got some cool ideas about things we want to offer additionally to our members, and stuff like that. So yeah, and that annual membership, as of now, that's exclusive to Kickstarter.
Okay.
We cannot confirm that we will have that available, and actually at launch we will not have the annual membership immediately available. Perhaps one day we'll revisit having that, but for now that's a Kickstarter exclusive. So if you want that year membership, Kickstarter is the place to get it.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it's also super discounted too. There's 87 of them left. They're $150.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool deal for someone to get that. For our side, we're just happy to have you in our space. People who back us from the beginning, it's kind of a way to connect, and I think it's a great deal for them. It's a good deal for us too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Especially if you're going to be down there, down in that area a lot anyway. You might as well have that membership's going to pay for itself rather quickly. So
absolutely, if you're in here and you're just enjoying it and being around, and that I think when you see our wall of games and you see what you've got, and you experience our game gurus who can help you, not have that argument for 45 minutes about the subtext of letter C denotes that therefore I can only invade Asia at this point,
right,
etc. It'll be beneficial.
That's awesome. Yeah. So the wall of games, your game collection that you have, you're going to have all these there. Has there ever been any talks or any ideas on whether or not you're going to sell games that you have, experience somebody into a game and then be able to sell them a retail copy of it? Have you ever?
We will have a retail component. There will be a section of our establishment that will sell things. At the start, you can probably expect to see some of the more popular games there, just in our retail component. We're kind of figuring out where we're going to put it in our store and everything, but there will be a retail component. We're not going to have the huge selection, but for example, if you want dice and you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, we're not going to not have dice on sale. If you really enjoyed, say, Flux, it's this big. We can have that for sale. It's not a big deal for us to have Flux right there, or Cards Against Humanity, or maybe not the bigger, blacker box of Cards Against Humanity. That's a little, huge. But we'll have it. Actually, it'll probably be kind of located. I'm going to spin you around so you can kind of see. It'll probably be located. But we're still working on that. We can't tell you anything for sure about that stuff right now. It's all in architectural land.
Right. Yeah. And Kip and I have both worked in architectural land before, so we understand that. We understand when you say, I can't really tell you any more about that.
Yeah.
So you've we've got all these board games there, and you've talked about having, I still am just shocked at the sheer number of games that you guys really want to have there for opening day, and that you say you've already got a majority of Board Game Geek's top 100, but you're still looking to have 500 games at launch. Now, are a lot of these games, are you getting a lot of donations from these? Or
we have, and we're offering basically we're offering Kickstarter compensation for people who donate. So, for example, a used game is worth about $5 of Kickstarter donations. If it's totally unraveled, do a different deal.
Right.
With that, we've got people donating games that way. We have, just right now sitting in this space that doesn't even have anyone ripping things out here. I can show you guys something real quick. This is literally nothing. My phone. This is just kind of a basic sense of some of the stuff that most of these games, all these games are.
Oh yeah.
This is a really nasty one. That's two people donated that. We've got a partnership potentially or something in the works that will get us some more awesome games, and we're also, we look at it, we've got it, it's part of our expenses, it's well worth it to us to get a lot of games and to get them on that wall.
Yeah.
We're a board game cafe, we're board gamers, it's it's totally a dream of mine to just have that many games, so being able to have people playing them and teaching them is really fulfills that passion, and it's just awesome. So
very cool, very cool.
Are there any games you specifically want us to have?
Kip?
Well, my favorite game right now is probably either Power Grid or Battlestar Galactica. No comment, Morph.
Yeah, he needs somebody to teach him the rules of that one so we can actually play it right.
I do not.
So the story behind that, Ed, was, Kip and I have been friends for quite a while, and we had a little group that would get together every once in a while and play a game, or play games for a night. And Battlestar Galactica was one that we ended up playing, except when Kip was shuffling the cards together, he left out the Cylon cards, so we didn't have any bad guys in the entire game. And we still almost lost. That was the best part about it.
Well, we were throwing innocents in the brig. We were getting bored with it. What had happened is I had the cards. I had the deck with the Cylons in it, and then the deck that was supposed to go back in the box, sitting side by side. And I picked up the wrong deck and dealt those out. So.
So, it still ended up for an entertaining game, and it's fun to laugh at, but I have to give Kip a hard time for it every time that game comes up, because if I don't, what kind of friend would I be?
Absolutely.
A good one?
No, I tell you, that's just like whenever Mark and I play a game, he's just brutal. We can literally be an 8-person game, too, and he'll go down just to make sure I lose,
Well,
yeah, we'll definitely have Battlestar Galactica and Power Grid, though.
I will recommend this one too, and I'll see if I can't get you in touch with the company that made this.
This is a Kickstarter one?
Yes, Flapjacks and Sasquatches from Prolific Games. Those guys make great games. We love all their games, and they're actually friends of our show. So Flapjacks and Sasquatches is probably one of it's a staple whenever Kip and I get together. Well, it's a staple whenever I play board games, period. And then I can also throw out...
Are they KC local?
They are not. They're from Minnesota.
Okay. That's cool, though.
Yeah, they make good games. They're nice little... They're quick card games. And then, of course, I got to show you my newest member of the gaming collection. I have the Oregon Trail card game.
I saw that. Have you died of dysentery yet?
Yes. My son actually died of dysentery. He's only 7 years old, and he couldn't even say dysentery, which was the best part. He just looked at me and goes, "Dad, did I just die?" Yep. Sorry, bud.
That's beautiful. Well, just like when probably you were playing Oregon Trail, I don't know if I just remember playing on those big Macs sitting there with the blue lights. I was probably this is the time.
Yeah, no, and that card game, surprisingly, I expected it to kind of be cheesy and lame because, how can you turn a computer game that was so simple as that into a card game and still have it hold up? No, it holds up. That is a great game, and if you can get a hold of that, more power to you. Apparently, it's not been discontinued. It's been back ordered since it's only sold at Target. Apparently, they had so many people try to buy it that they stopped selling it. So,
Well, if anyone is listening who wants to donate a copy,
well, I'm in the process of trying to get a second copy. So if I get a second copy, I might just have to send it your way. How about that?
I mean, that we would definitely, yeah, that would be awesome. No, now I'm looking at them. They're on. Yeah, even Amazon, it's like $52, only 2 left in stock. That's it's been interesting seeing which games are going to be a little harder to track down, and what's going to be easier and everything. But yeah, that's awesome.
So before we start wrapping this thing up, I want to know a little bit more about you. In your bio, it says your current favorite game is Carcassonne. Is that true?
Carcassonne, yeah. I mean, it's been my favorite game for the last year, so it's a classic. Have you've played it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
There's just something about getting my friend Mark's his girlfriend played it, and it was so funny. She was just getting into it, and she made a road in a circle. I mean, there's just, I don't know, Carcassonne, it's so simple to learn. You can play with people. It's a great bridge from casual to getting a little more into the Euro game scene. I absolutely love it. I love the word Carcassonne.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say this, but as a marketing person, I debated making this kind of a pastry thing and calling it Carcassonne. That would be terrible.
I wouldn't have faulted you. I wouldn't have faulted you at all.
No one would go in there. Carcassonne? That's terrifying. But of course,
all of your board game friends would have looked at it and go, "Oh, that's kind of funny."
Yeah. Yes, we would. But that would have been good. But then they'd also be terrified. No, it's all good though. Yeah, that's definitely that's up there. Obviously, like, as you can probably see from our blog, we really like RPGs. That's another thing. We're definitely gonna have the board games are the focus. It is a place for board games. It's but that being said, we're gonna have RPG nights. Thursdays will be RPG night, and we'll have just connecting with the Pathfinder Society, the Dungeons and Dragons people, just getting a place for people to actually come in and play D&D. What's cool is I think a lot of board game stores can't necessarily afford to give up a bunch of space to have people play play D&D as much, because D&D people tend not to buy board games. But if they're eating food and drinking drinks, they can enjoy our stuff, and we can be an opportunity and kind of be this awesome place for D&D people to come and have a good time and die. That's what you do.
Yes.
I was even talking about doing some cool thing. These are all in the probable, not yet confirmed.
Right.
Idea of doing if you're playing D&D and then you tweet or write a synopsis of a party wipe. Tomorrow you get 50% off a drink or something something like that, or tweeting your lines and stuff for half off a coffee or something.
Well, we know our GM wouldn't mind that, because I think just about every session there is a almost total party kill. So
yeah,
usually because it's our own stupidity as players, we're not the smart players apparently. I don't know.
I think DMs. I think you have to be a bit of a sadist to be a DM.
Yeah.
So, you can ask Donald. Ask Donald the DM, our guy. He'll tell you he enjoys torturing us.
Yeah, I can believe that. So what about you're gonna have beer there? Do you have a favorite beer that you're going to make sure is there?
Delirium Tremens. It's a Belgian one. It has a little pink elephant on the bottle. It's an absolutely delicious beer. It's also pretty strong, so wouldn't recommend anyone have too many Delirium Tremens. But it's it's in this white ceramic bottle. It's a Belgian beer. It's absolutely delicious, and I had a chance to try one in France, and then had to have it here, and it just corresponded. And then anytime a friend comes and asks for a beer recommendation, we can make sure we have that. We'll have that. Now that might be tricky to track down because we're still figuring out, and that's kind of why it's so important. Well, we're not going to have that on tap no matter what. But hopefully we do get to that 30,000. We can put the beer taps in and have the beers we want because we love craft beers. We want it to be a KC. We want KC beer. We want Boulevard. We want to make sure we have all that stuff. But that's all part of the hopefully get to that 30,000 so we can have it on tap. But at very least, you can expect to be able to pop open a bottle or have us pop open a bottle and of a lot of those. Do you have a favorite beer? What are you drinking right now?
Well, right now I'm drinking a Leinenkugel's Oktoberfest because that's what was in the fridge.
Oktoberfest is just a good time for beer.
I love
opening in October. Is Leinenkugel's Oktoberfest not all that great?
No, it's good. I love it. I do. I like it. I catch a lot of flack when I tell people that I'm drinking Leinenkugel's, or at least people who enjoy craft beers, because Leinenkugel's not technically a craft beer because it's actually owned by a larger company. But what I was really hoping I had in my fridge, but I apparently drank all of them this weekend, was Bob's 47 from Boulevard is now out in stores, and that's their Oktoberfest type beer. It is delicious. I'd probably drink way too much of that, but I do enjoy it.
Well, we're definitely, as we continue to grow and decide what we're going to have in there, we are definitely looking to connect more with craft breweries around here. Obviously, we want to have Boulevard if that's one thing that we might want to have. I'm saying
you can't be a Kansas. You can't be a place selling beer in Kansas City and not have Boulevard. I mean that just has to be there.
Yeah.
If you do make it to 30,000, which we are hoping that you will, and we are going to push for that as much as we can.
We appreciate that.
A brewery that would be a local one you might want to check out is Red Crow Brewery down in Spring Hill, Kansas.
Okay.
It is they have really good beers. They do not bottle anything currently. Right now they only, and I think last time I talked to them, I think it's the end of this year they're supposed to have stuff kegged that they can then distribute through kegs. So they're a really small brewery. They've only started this probably in the last couple years. Geek Vice actually had a tabletop day there in April, and they have a small wall of board games, and they let us come in and flood their brewery with a whole bunch of board games and a whole bunch of people playing board games. So they are big into that scene, and I'm sure they would love to have their name all over stuff at your bar.
Absolutely. Well, so you said that's Red Crow?
Yep.
Okay. If you could give me their email or something, I could see about setting up a meeting with them. I'd love to chat with them more. That's awesome. Yeah, we just looking forward to having some good beer. Don't want to confirm or promise anything in terms of beers yet, because just making sure
you gotta get that far first. Yeah.
We gotta get that far first, but we'll definitely. It's gonna be craft beer. It's not gonna be a bunch of beers that I'm not going to mention by name in case I can get in trouble for mentioning them by name, but it's going to be a lot of craft beer. It's going to be.
That's awesome.
We're on Southwest Boulevard. There's a good chance that we'll have a certain beer. It might be named after that Southwest Boulevard.
That's
not to promise anything.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up here, what is the target open date for Pawns and Pints?
Early October.
Early October.
It's going to depend on things rolling around. Hopefully it's October 1st. Maybe it's October 7th. Maybe it's the second week of October. But it's just we have to see how things roll. There's a lot of components that we're watching. I'm looking for, but hopefully it's October 1st. I mean, I'd even like it to be in September, but I don't want to overpromise here. So.
Yeah, I mean that's just right around the corner too. So I mean I understand how the private development stuff works. Kip and I, again, have both worked in that sector. So we understand that sometimes there can be delays behind things that you don't actually see coming. So we
But
hope.
so far, it's been really well. So everything is going according to plan so far. So we're excited. Just, knock on wood, but we're really excited.
That's awesome. That is awesome. One last question for you. What is the most important thing about Pawns and Pints you want people to know about?
We have a big wall of games. We serve beer, board games, beer. Is that what it is? Or something like that we haven't mentioned yet?
You know what? It's whatever you want people to know. Because this, I mean, we want
We have a
this to
Kickstarter
succeed.
going right now. There's a Kickstarter. We're going to serve beer. We'll have Game Gurus. We have board games and beer. Have I mentioned that yet?
That really is the best selling point, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to I have a little picture that just shows a meeple and a beer. It's kind of like a little smiley face. It's a very complex selling point. Well, we get it.
It's the best marketing picture I have ever seen. Let me just put it that way.
I'm glad. It's pretty awesome. It's really cool talking to people in the area too about what they love. And just getting that. And yeah, we're really looking forward to being part of the Crossroads and being part of Kansas City. And owning a business in Kansas City that is board games and beer and food and coffee. Yeah. Hopefully some awesome espresso drinks. I'm crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, getting the word out. But hopefully we get to 30,000 because that'll be pretty awesome. But if not 20,000, we can get those cool espresso drinks, and hopefully we'll be able to figure things out better. We just look forward to getting it open and running and getting people in here, and yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we will put a link to the Kickstarter.
Please, thank you.
In this, in the description for this, and it'll also be on the podcast notes for it. It is up on our Facebook page currently now, and we will be flooding it up there regularly to keep people in the know. Your Facebook page is facebook.com/Pawns and Pints, correct?
Yep.
And then the blog is pawnsandpints.wordpress.com, so people can go get all their news there. Do you have a Twitter?
Yep, twitter.com, Pawns and Pints.
There you go.
And Donald the DM is on there as well, on Twitter as well. That's Donald, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So,
do you guys want to see me unicycle around Pawns and Pints?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Okay, sorry, it's a little messy. Let's see.
Look at that, everybody. You can see the brand new home of Pawns and Pints coming soon.
It's a Geek Vice first right here.
First unicycler in Pawns and Pints.
That's awesome.
Over here we've got the game books, which are awesome. Yeah. The bar will be over here.
That is awesome.
Next to the wall games. There we go. There will be no unicycling in Pawns and Pints when we are serving alcohol and have people. This is the only time I get to unicycle in it. My partners have been very clear.
You're not going to have enough room. It's going to be filled with people.
No, it's going to be packed full of people having a good time. No unicycling inside Pawns and Pints.
That is awesome. Well, Ed, thank you for coming on, and thank you for putting your passion into this great endeavor of yours, because Kip and I both want to see this succeed, and we will be visiting you shortly, I'm sure. As soon as those doors open, we will be there.
We look forward to having you. It's going to be awesome.
All right, everybody. We're gonna put a wrap in there for our show. You can, again, go check them out, get their news at facebook.com/pawnsandpints and pawnsandpints.wordpress.com. Go check out their Kickstarter. You can just search for Pawns and Pints. It's the only one that shows up when you put Pawns and Pints in. And
pawnsandpints.com goes straight to it, too.
There you go. Pawnsandpints.com takes you right where you need to go. You can also follow us on our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/geekvice. You can follow Kip on Twitter at KipKilligan and myself at geekvice. And, of course, you can always email us at geekvice@gmail.com. We will see you guys next time.
Later.